Sheikh Mohammed Noor al-Khalidi is the 35th Khalifa of Tariqat Naqshbandiya and is known as a Waliullah with various karama. He is also an authoritative community leader with a Sufi spirit. This is proven by his success in leading members of his congregation in the village of Sungay Chinchin, Gombak, around 1894 to 1919, where an administrative and legal structure that he advocated could be put into practice. With the support of the public, Sheikh Mohammed Noor, who is from North Sumatra, was able to develop a study center that not only emphasizes knowledge but also spiritual education. Developed Sharia-based villages. Kampong Sungay Chinchin. Gombak is located about 13 kilometers from the city of Kuala Lumpur. Sheikh Mohammed Noor al-Khalidi began to explore it around 1894. About 10 years from the date he arrived in Malaya from his home village in Penyambangan, North Sumatra. Also migrating with this Sufi scholar is his adopted brother Sheikh Zainal Abidin and 2 other scholars. They are from the Mendeleng lineage. All 4 of them are just pious, and when they got to the peninsula they split up. One settled in Tapa, Perak, the other one may be in Perak as well. Only the 2 of them never separated, said Hajja Fatima, 69 years old, the youngest daughter of Sheikh Mohammed Noor, when found at her son's house in Sentul Pesa, Kuala Lumpur. Hajja Fatima got the authentic story about her father from the mouth of her own mother, the second wife of Sheikh Mohammed Noor, Hajja Halima. According to the story, Hajja Halima is the most pious and virtuous wife among his 7 wives. In fact, Sheikh Mohammed Noor once said that Hajja Halima was his reference book and where he discussed mainly about women's affairs. And Hajja Halima also helps her husband teach and guide the women separately from the men. Together with Sheikh Zainal Abidin as his senior assistant, Sheikh Mohammed Noor explored the village of Sungay Chinchin and struggled to develop the Islamic life system in it. The site of the village was land donated by Sultan Alauddin Sulaiman Shah, the 5th Sultan of Selangor. The front part of this village is located on the hillside between which the Sungai Gombak flows towards the center of Kuala Lumpur. There he also met 2 streams, one of which crossed the village area. The back of the village is a lowland area that is very suitable for rice crops. On the west side of the village, Sheikh Mohammed Noor built a dam to store water. The place is a little high. From this reservoir, water is channeled to the paddy fields and channeled to houses and mosques for public use. This technique of channeling waterways from hills to mosques is widely available in Indonesia. Communication to buy essential goods or to market manufactured goods is also easy either through the river road or land road that reaches the Kuala Lumpur city centre. On a 14-acre site, Sheikh Mohammed Noor succeeded in developing a Sharia-based village and implemented Islamic laws in it. Apart from the earnest effort, the success of developing the Islamic village in Sungay Chinchin is thanks to the knowledge and experience gained years before, especially in Sheikh Mohammed Noor's sojourn to Makkah. He went to Makkah with Sheikh Zainal Abidin via Thailand and India. They traveled a difficult journey to perform the Hajj and continue their studies, especially in the field of Sufism and Tariqat travel, in addition to visiting the Maqam of Prophet Muhammad Sahaba and the Maqam of his own mother, who returned to Rahmatullah in Makkah a year before that. He lived in Makkah for more than 3 years. Throughout that period, he fulfilled his desire to visit the pious people in addition to visiting the Maqam of the pious people. After that he left for Egypt by land. Hear my father's intention to visit Imam Syafi'i Maqam 40 times while in Egypt, said Hajja Fatima. It is true that Sheikh Mohammed Noor did not leave any wealth. Even the 14-acre village site that he explored himself became Waqaf land and is included in tax-free land because it belongs to the King's Waqaf, said Mr. Abdul Rahman Jalis, 64. Bilal Mosque in the legacy village Sheikh Mohammed Noor. However, the administration of this village has always been held by his own heir since time immemorial. And the priority to sit and eat the produce of this land has always been given to the family of Sheikh Mohammed Noor, he explained. On such a strategic site, Sheikh Mohammed Noor developed a village in which education and training for all ages, boys and girls. He implemented this big project based on the realization that humans can only be subjected to the commandments and laws of Allah through knowledge and education. Among the first things he built was a mosque, and then a special prayer hall for mothers. In order to ensure that social relations in the village really comply with the Sharia, he organizes the residences of the residents in such a systematic way by separating male and female bachelors and separating them from sex houses. He ordered that single students build their huts on the right side of the village and provide neat houses for female students on the left side of the village. And the front side is reserved for people with families, said Ahmed Othman, 66, Imam of the Kampung Sanji Cincin Mosque. Mr. Ahmed said, there is absolutely no free association between men and women. In fact, mothers are not allowed to leave the house except for a need, especially for studying and to get necessities, on the condition that they wear clothes that cover their aurat, and many also wear tantan which only shows 2 eyes. I still wear this tantan with my sister Haja Habsa, who lives with her son in Bandar Baru Banji, because this is my father's order as required by the Sharia. During my life, I only open my face in public when doing tawaf during the Hajj, then I use it again until now, said Haja Fatima. Operation of law. It turned out that the selection of such an interesting place with the facilities available and the organization of the population so neatly made it easy for Sheikh Mohammed Noor to enforce the rules he himself had laid down. In matters of discipline, Sheikh Mohammed Noor is very strict, and for that he prepares officers of authority such as the police, both male and female. Anyone found guilty will be punished accordingly, and many will be sentenced to lock up, said Imam Haji Ahmed. According to Haja Fatima, there are 4 lockups for women and 2 lockups for male offenders who are smaller in size. The effects of the lockup for female offenders are still found next to the house where Haja Fatima lives. The lock was originally a dark room, and there was only room to take food and a small hole to let in some light. Among the offences that carry the punishment of lockup are laziness or abandoning prayer, disobeying parents or disobeying teachers, fighting among students, and stealing. Fines are also imposed on students who are lazy in worship, such as not waking up at night, not coming early for prayer, and being lazy in fasting. The lockup punishment is for a period of 1 week, 5 days, 2 days and 1 night, with being given little food and drink, as well as told to read certain wirid and circumcision fasting. Haja Fatima said that her father is also a generous person, and this is very evident when running the school. All students are free of charge. All expenses are borne by him. This is very popular among students and followers who not only come from Selangor but also from Perak, Negeri Sembilan, and other states. However, he encouraged all his followers to work planting rice, gardening and/or trades. According to the son of Sheikh Mohammed Noor, late Haji Muhammad Syeikh, who was found during his lifetime 6 years ago, rich people also contributed donations, especially from Indian Muslims who mostly do business in Kuala Lumpur. With that, his followers can concentrate on learning while doing work without worrying about eating and drinking and other needs. Surprisingly, during the outbreak of the First World War, the village of Sunai Cincin was not interrupted by sustenance while the community outside was facing various difficulties. This village was not disturbed and the school went on as usual, said Haji Muhammad Saeed, the second heir who runs the village after the death of his brother Haji Muhammad Tahir. When faced with current problems, Sheikh Mohammed Noor always held meetings with religious people from all over the place. They have discussed issues of education, mosque parish law, relations with the British colonialists and others. Sheikh Mohammed Noor is also always aware of the children of his students and followers who are eligible for marriage. He will plan matchmaking among his followers, which is usually financed by himself and other friends from the village. At that time, all marriage affairs were conducted according to Sharia and as simple as possible without immorality and waste, said Haja Fatima. Sheikh Mohammed Noor himself practiced polygamy with 3 or 4 wives at a time. His 7 wives are all pious and obedient to the struggle he waged. Sheikh Mohammed Noor not only educates his followers with strict rules, but he also emphasizes spiritual education based on Sufi practices. He emphasized a lot of Sufism studies and led wirid, dhikr, organized circumcision fasting, increased night worship and held trial graves. This experimental tomb, which is located outside the mosque's mihrab, aims to convince his followers of the questions of death, the realm of barzakh, padang mahsyar, the hereafter, heaven and hell. For anyone who wants to try, he is allowed to enter the tomb for some time under certain conditions or in a certain way. God willing, he will be able to experience a part of the unseen world as found in the grave, said Imam Haji Ahmed, as experienced by them during the lifetime of Syeikh Muhammad Noor. Syeikh Muhammad Noor adheres to the words, "It is enough to die" as a lesson. And the remembrance of death is the sunnah of Prophet Muhammad, where he remembers death 100 times a day. In that way he succeeded in shaping his followers to be pious, righteous, obedient, and pious to Allah. Although the village of Sungai Cincin continues to be popular but has undergone many changes. In addition to the erection of new buildings, the way of life of the villagers also changed after more than 60 years of being abandoned by Syeikh Muhammad Noor. Now it's not like it used to be anymore. My father is not only strict about the covering of private parts and the limits of male-female association, but also forbids all kinds of noises, as there are many of them today, said Hajja Fatima. However, as in other places, studies in the mosque continue to be conducted. Likewise with study classes for children and 5-time congregational prayers and Friday prayers, still lively. Although the glory days of Sungai Cincin village have passed, it is still very beneficial for today's generation to learn from the great struggle of Syeikh Muhammad Noor al-Khalidi, a Wali who acts as a community leader. Syeikh Muhammad Noor returned to Rahajullah at the age of 58 on 13 Shaban 1349. Leaving behind many loyal followers and leaving behind so many services to the development of Islam in this country. The deceased was buried in Sungai Cincin village, and his maqam is often visited by people. The Islamic village that he founded still remains even though its heyday has passed.